So there we were at the end of another unit. One of the big end of unit assignments was to write a story inspired by the novel we just read. I'm a special education teacher, and while my students are generally full of ideas, the act of elaborating on them, organizing them, and writing them down can be very challenging. Some of them have way too many ideas that are all over the place, and some of them struggle to get even one simple idea going. I'm generally a pretty patient person, but this was not going well. They were frustrated, I was frustrated, and no one was accomplishing much of anything. Finally, one of my students sighed and said, "Mrs. Bermingham, I need to do this different." Well, that stopped me in my tracks because, well, she was exactly right. She needed to do it different. We all needed to do it different. I was a little embarrassed. Not only am I a teacher, I'm a special ed teacher. I spend half of my day talking to other teachers about how to differentiate and modify and accommodate. And yet here I was trying to cram all of us into one plan. So we scrapped it and started from scratch. I still wasn't sure exactly how we were going to tackle things, but I started by asking my students something that I probably don't ask them enough. What do you think we should do? One of them immediately said that she really liked hearing other people's ideas when writing, that it helped her when she felt stuck or wasn't sure what to say. So we decided to write a story together, 6 co-writers, and pushed off writing individual stories for another day. They got to hear lots of different ideas, and it gave them practice advocating for their ideas, listening to other people's ideas, and it helped them see that sometimes when you work together, you end up with a stronger product. In the end, we had a story that they all felt ownership for and were all really proud of. So then I said, "Great story, guys. Are we done?" And one of them said, "Well, can we do that?" and pointed to the giant green screen in the back of the classroom. Now, I had the green screen up for an after-school club that I facilitate, and while I had kept telling my students, yeah, we'll get there, you'll get a chance to do it, I hadn't really made time for it. So without thinking, I said, "Yeah, sure, let's make a movie." Now, I had a few doubts. It was a big project for kids who aren't very comfortable with technology and aren't fluent readers, but when we ran into a challenge, I tried to ask them again, "What do you think we should do?" And you know what? They almost always had an answer. "Let's print pictures of the characters from the internet and use them as puppets instead of trying to draw all the characters ourselves. Well, except for the ship, because I really want to draw that ship. Let's spin the wheel to decide who gets to do the voices. That way it's fair. If you don't get picked, you can do a voice in the next movie. Oh, Mrs. Bermingham, I know. Why don't you read one line and then I'll repeat it? And then you read the next line and I'll repeat that. And then you read the next line and I'll repeat that. And we'll keep going and going until we've done the whole story. And then in the end, you can cut yourself out and no one will ever know your voice was there, right?" Right. In the end, we had a pretty amazing little movie, if I do say so myself. I discovered that a lot of the time, my students can figure out what they need to be successful. They're just not used to a teacher asking them. By letting them take a little more control, not only did we write a story, we practiced teamwork, we learned a couple new technology tools, we added even more creativity to the assignment, we practiced reading fluently, and we ended up with a really cool final product that was easily shared with teachers, students, and friends and family outside of school. They even had a few classmates who were a little jealous. "Hey, why don't we get to make movies?" Maybe most importantly, we learned side by side. They saw me make mistakes, figure out new tricks, and stick with it when things weren't going well. They got to say things to me like, "Don't give up," and "Mrs. Bermingham, you just haven't figured it out yet." Did it take more time than the original assignment would have? Yep. Did I have to be a little more hands-on, especially on the tech side while we were all learning? Yep. Was it worth it to see my sometimes struggling students excited to come to class, engaged in learning, and proud to share? It sure was.